Hey, welcome to Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour. Oh my God, Cha-Cha's touching the mic before we even start. Just an hour and a half, I told her don't move the mic. We're going to have to start all over. All right, welcome to Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour, Christmas 2018 special. And, of course, you know Dee Dee, Laura, and Andy, and Cha-Cha. Let's give ourselves a big hand before we even start. And we are going to do the Christmas Portrait album by the Carpenters, which was a biggie from 1978. Look at that.
Yep.
And the show is going to be dedicated to our good friend Santa, who we have his picture right here. And we're going to have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. But, of course, before we started, you guys alluded to it, so I must read a serious statement before we start. Come on, Cha-Cha, you ruined my serious moment. Here we go. I am no longer associated with the De Silvas in any shape or form. I am no longer with the band, and I will not play any shows during their upcoming Backstabbers and Scoundrels tour. I will now accept questions from the audience.
You have spoken. Yes. I think it's pretty clear.
See, nobody knows what to say. See, yes, exactly.
I want to see the movie, yeah.
So much behind it. I'll talk a little bit about it. But everybody, you guys are all in bands, so you know all your life, it's nothing but scoundrels and backstabbers.
Yeah, these guys.
You guys are pretty lucky, though, right? Besides Andy backstabbing you guys are pretty good, right? But every so often, you're going to run into a backstabber and a scoundrel, and, just stuff happens.
Yeah.
And it's just...
You ran into him twice. I hate to say, I'm sorry.
But the issue was the lead singer disease, and he just didn't understand.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, he didn't understand. We had a nice thing going, and he didn't understand we were in a cover band in New Jersey. He wants to play Madison Square Garden at age 54.
Yeah.
So he couldn't just be fun, that was what made us good. We were like the Ramones, the New York Dolls. Sometimes a car crash, sometimes good, but we were a lot of fun, and everybody enjoyed it. But he wanted to add backing tracks and keyboards.
Ooh.
It's like putting Ramones in a tuxedo.
Right.
It just doesn't work.
Right. No.
So that was it. That's all we'll speak of this, Cha-Cha.
I'm good with that.
Say no more.
So
I want more.
So now,
give Auntie more.
well, I don't know. There was really no drama. That was it. It's just like, because where it started off though, we became like Spinal Tap when it came to drummers. That we had one drummer every year. We were up to our fourth drummer, and everybody else stayed the same. And every year the drummer exploded or whatever the heck happened to him, and we got the worst drummers in the world. I don't understand, but
So is everybody else still with the band? It's just you're the only one that drew the line?
Well,
you're like,
not
out?
really. It's very complicated. There's
That's
only
sketchy
two.
comes
Yeah,
in.
It's only two people left in the band.
Okay.
Because we got a drummer and then we got another drummer, so we had two drummers and no one knew which was their actual drummer. So those guys are all out, and it's really the lead singer going off, and it's actually his name, so I can't even argue with that.
I was going to ask if you got to keep the name.
So he can have the name, but it's just that's the lies and the deceit, and the going behind the backs. That's really upsets people. Otherwise, who
it
cares?
is upsetting.
You move on. So I will now be joining the Woodfield brothers. Have you heard this, Cha-Cha? I am the latest Woodfield.
Those
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know who that is?
No clue.
That's their band. I'm not really joining. I'm kidding.
Be our
Wait,
cousin.
I thought they were Strawberry
be the
Pie.
Whitfield
Did I
cousins.
miss
Okay,
that?
we're gonna have to. We might have to go do a little explanation of our like family tree. We have like
explain
a
that,
family
because-
tree band. Okay, so Dee Dee and I, of course, have been Strawberry Pie for 6 years now,
Six
right?
and a half years.
Yeah, 6.5 years. So, it was started as Dee Dee and I, and of course we've added people along the way, here and there for different reasons, whether we're doing full band or trios and stuff like that. So along the way, we picked up this vagrant, and he's stuck like glue. He's like a burr, those like burrs.
Yeah.
So
Stray cat.
that's right. So,
Stray, I
but
like that.
Andy already, believe it or not, had his own band called the Woodfield Brothers. Andy and Joe Napolitano. So it was like two guys, two gals.
It was actually three guys.
It was three guys. That's right.
Dee Dee threw one out and said, "I'm the new Woodfield brother."
Yeah,
That's
pretty
kind of
much.
what happened. Exactly.
Yoko. Yoko Woodfield.
I can't believe you went there.
So yeah, Dee Dee and Andy basically are the hub, and when the Woodfield brothers play, they take a piece of pie with them. And when Strawberry Pie plays, we take a brother with us.
That's interesting.
So we're now trios, really. But
That's how it is in Puerto Rico and the South.
Well, everybody just takes a piece of everybody else's thing.
Intermingling, yeah.
I like it. Well, it works really, really
Are we
well,
still
though,
talking
right?
about the band?
It works really, really well.
Whatever
It's all
works.
consensual.
It's kind of like the Lawrence Welk show, if you will. They all
I
got
will.
together in different songs, and they say,
That's
all right,
right.
let me
It's a
have this
variety
guy
show.
over here play.
I love a variety show. I want to make this a variety show.
Well, get up
And
tap
also,
dance.
Well, we have
sometimes
variety.
Joe will play with us as Strawberry Pie too, and then we don't know what to call it actually. When it's like all four of us, we call it like a Strawberry Pie Woodfield
Pie.
Brother
Or
Pie
Woodfield
band
Pie mashup.
mashup. So
Yeah.
Where's this other guy? I've never
Wait,
seen
what?
or heard about this guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk.
Is he your
That's
actual
not
brother?
no. Tell him about Joe.
No. Joe was a neighbor of mine, and he is a phenomenal pedal steel player and
Ooh,
phenomenal
pedal
guitar
steel, I
player.
like that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a cut above. He's my Woodfield brother.
There you
Yeah.
go. Very nice.
So if you join, you'll have to be a wayward cousin.
I told him to wait till after the winter.
I could be Cousin Eddie.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it. I got
Christmas
it.
show, we brought it in. So, of course, this is our annual Christmas show. We've been doing this since 1972.
Yeah.
So it makes the
I was one.
23rd year, right? Is that
Yep.
how that math works out?
Something like that.
Boy, am I
Of course.
tired.
That sounds right.
Our first show, of course, every year we had Santa Ray on. And
Yes.
a lot of fun. So
Right.
the show is dedicated to him, of course. And I think that if this show goes well, we're going to, even if we don't do this radio show anymore, we're just going to get back once a year just for this Christmas
That's a
yeah.
great idea.
extravaganza.
Absolutely.
We'll go live or something like that.
Like the U-Log.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So, and can you believe these guys haven't been here for an entire year, Cha-Cha?
I can't believe
Has
it.
it been a whole
Was
year?
It has been a
It
whole
was
year.
Christmas time last year? You didn't come back in the spring or summer
The
or
last
nothing?
time I think we celebrated all of your birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. We got to
Right?
say
We
happy
will be
birthday
doing
to
again.
all of us.
That's
All
right.
of us. I think we all have birthdays in November.
That's
Andy's
right.
as well.
December.
Andy's
December,
December.
Oh, there you go.
Cha-Cha's is in
I'm a
August.
summer
so,
baby.
Cha-Cha, you have to leave
bring us
now.
down.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yes. So.
That's why I'm on the end.
Yeah, did you notice that? We have a different orientation today.
That's right.
We're really letting loose tonight. So, but since last time you were here, we were bought out by a major conglomerate. And now, Madhouse Magazine purchased live from Dennis's house for an extraordinary sum. So, as part of the deal, I have to read one of their stupid articles each week. So,
And still no hair and makeup.
what should we do?
Craft
we'll do this
services.
story first. All right, how about this? Everybody like Billy Idol? We're going to do a nice Billy
Yeah.
Idol story.
It was his birthday.
This one from yes, it just happened recently. So
Yep.
that's why we'll read a nice Billy Idol story. So a Long Beach, California woman went into labor in her driveway early Friday. Rocker Billy Idol was there to help. Fernando C. Hernandez was helping his wife Linda to their car about 2 a.m. to drive her to the hospital, but the baby was coming too quickly. Idol, who was driving past on his motorcycle, saw the couple in distress and stopped to offer assistance. When Idol saw the urgency of the situation, he took charge. Idol told the woman to hop on, and he gunned it to the hospital with the husband following behind. The baby could not wait, and the bumpy ride certainly did not help. Idol knew they were not going to make it to the hospital in time, so he pulled the bike over. Idol helped deliver the baby on the back of his motorcycle as if he were a trained doctor. Idol even cut the umbilical cord with his teeth and circumcised the baby.
Wow.
That is one man, one awesome guy.
Whoa.
Together, the couple and
He's
Billy
an
Idol
idol.
helped welcome the couple's son, William, into the world. He weighed 8 pounds, 8 ounces. It was nothing, all in a day's work for a rock star, said Idol, as he danced in the hospital and gave his signature fist pump and lip snarl. Can you do that?
That is a heartwarming
Let's
story.
hear it for Billy Idol. Very lovely thing to do. So
That
I
you
wish
go.
Billy Idol delivered my baby.
He actually has opened up a clinic now in California.
There you
It's a
go.
drive-through baby clinic on La Cienega Boulevard. So that reminds me, that's what I miss most, Dee Dee, about us recreating Sabado Gigante
Oh,
and Telenova
yeah.
days. That's how I first met Dee Dee. It was 1971.
And
the year
Sábado
before the show.
Gigante.
Sabado Gigante.
Yeah.
Dee Dee played Gabriela Villalobos. And I was Dr. Aurelio Nunez. It was the best show. They don't make shows like that.
No, they don't.
That was good stuff. All right, so now it's time we actually have to play some music now, and we're going to play Merry Christmas Darling by the Carpenters, which is a lovely, one of my favorite Carpenters song. And of course, we were going to play Baby It's Cold Outside, but Cha-Cha was offended and demanded that I take it off the air. So now we're going
I'm
to play...
offended that people are offended.
But since we can't play that song anymore, we're going to play 99 Problems, But a Bitch Ain't One by Jay-Z.
There you go.
Oh, wait, actually, that's not a Christmas song, so we're going to play an even better one. Backdoor Santa by Clarence Carter.
There you go.
And we'll be right back. Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour 474 The Mix. Hey,
The bloody
welcome back.
finger.
Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour. You just heard Merry Christmas Darling by the Carpenters and Backdoor Santa by Clarence Carter. Now that's a jam here on 474 The Mix. So now we're going to talk to Dee Dee, Laura, and...
Andy.
Who? Andy. I thought I was going to call you Joe for a second.
It's okay.
So
call me.
we're going to want to hear all about the exciting stuff. Now, what is this upstairs? We heard stuff about blood on the guitar. Tell us about this incident.
Laura's near-death experience on stage.
What happened?
Okay, so we were at this Stone Pony last Saturday night. We were there for an event, a fundraiser event that is, it's called Cinderella's Ball with an S, S-I-N-D-E-R, Cinderella's Ball. This is the third, maybe fourth year we've done it. It's a fundraiser to raise funds for the Joan Dancy and PALS organization, PALS for people with ALS. So what they do, they're a local organization in Monmouth and Ocean County, and they provide direct support to people with ALS and their families. It's a great organization. So it's a huge event, huge. Bobby Bandiera was playing the event right after us. And the stage is full of, pie, full band, and the crowd is out there, and we're playing, and we're rocking, and we're having a great time. And then I'm like, oh, my hand feels like there's something wet on it. And I looked down, and it looked like a scene from CSI. There was like blood splatter all over the place. Wow. So I'm not a great when I strum, I often hit this finger, my middle finger. I'm sorry, but I do. Like I hit the strings with my middle finger a lot, the way I strum, and it sometimes gets a little cut on the cuticle, but I've never bled. It like took a layer of skin off, and I bled like a stuck pig. And my guitar had blood splatter all over it. The set list had blood splatter. It's still in my guitar like that. My DNA.
The guitar hole?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. Oh
that's
yeah.
awesome.
My DNA is
everywhere.
forever soaked into the wood of that guitar.
You're a rock
And
star.
into the stage
That's
of
what-
the Stone Pony.
Yes. And I was like, sorry, people in the front row. I hope I'm not bleeding on you.
Whoa.
Somebody ran on stage with a Band-Aid for me, though. It was great. One of my
You
one
didn't
of
have
the,
stitches
Doctor.
or nothing? It was just a...
nope. Just
All right.
a cut,
Yeah.
and it just kept bleeding. We just kept playing, kept bleeding.
Andy didn't pass out from the blood?
I was traumatized.
You would have, for sure.
He was very offended.
It was the coolest thing that I have ever seen happen to us on stage.
Yeah.
I think you should put this as part of the act now. You should cut yourself or have a capsule.
Yeah, right.
I'll carry a tourniquet.
We could like reenact an old like Civil War scene where you have to tourniquet me. Great.
Got a bleeder. I went to see a mediocre show, Springsteen on Broadway.
Oh, that's right. You were supposed to talk about
Yeah,
that.
I don't
Got
understand
that.
what the hoopla's about.
Andy, you're like
No,
one of
I
my
think you're being
favorites.
sarcastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
It
thought
was.
he was.
Yeah.
It was my very first time ever seeing a Springsteen show. And, because I didn't grow up here, I wasn't really familiar with his music. And I've been learning a lot recently through the bands that I play with, particularly with the Woodfield Brothers. And a lot of people said to me, "Oh, too bad you didn't get to see him like at the Garden or something for the first time." But I disagree because it was a very intimate and personal show.
Absolutely.
The storytelling and the things that he shared, how you could relate to him having a normal life like any other person growing up, having, growing pains, childhood issues, teenage issues, parent issues, whatever it was that he went through, and the things he went through chasing his dream, that he didn't give up and all that stuff. It was very inspiring, and he made, I think everyone in the audience felt like they were having a personal conversation with him. I thought it was a really beautiful experience, and I'm going to write a song about it.
Wow. And it goes a little something like this.
I do think that he is like that. Like the guy around town too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you always see him
You
riding his
always see
motorcycle
him,
and stuff.
Yep.
People just see him at the videos. Used to see him at the video store, the pizza place.
Yeah.
Like he was that
The
guy.
gym.
I got drunk with him once. It was
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
How'd this happen? Tell us this story,
Well,
Andy.
it was actually Christmas season. We were Christmas shopping. Myself and three of my friends, we'd go out early in the morning to pretend that we were Christmas shopping, and we
In
hit
a
the
bar?
bars at about 11 a.m. and we were sitting in this bar, and it was just the four of us, and another group came in, and the bartender comes over, the barmaid, and comes over and says, "That guy over there wants to buy you a drink." I said, "All right, fine." She says, "Bruce Springsteen."
Wow.
So the drink of the time was the Alabama Slimer. That's how long ago it was.
Dang.
And we proceeded to get hammered with Bruce for a few hours.
Wow.
That
Was he
is
pretending
so
to be
cool.
shopping too?
Yeah,
And you all,
he had a
Shopping bag?
yes, from Corvettes.
Keys, like little keys, a little bag with keys to Corvettes. Like, yeah, I went Christmas shopping today.
You guys all stopped at the gas station and bought presents on the way home.
Right. Toilet seat covers, windshield wipers.
Yeah,
So that's
Right.
amazing. Like, what made him buy you a drink,
Yeah.
though? What was that
because
about?
he had the money.
And he thought you guys were cool?
Wanted to
Yeah,
hang
we couldn't
out
get rid
with
of him.
them.
Really? Wow.
We couldn't
I
get
would
rid
never do
That
that
is-
if
He
I
was
was Bruce
alone?
Springsteen.
You don't know what you would
No, he was
do.
with a couple of other guys, and then we went down the road to get another drink, and he walked in a few minutes later.
He
was
stalking
stalking
us.
Just talking to you. Like, leave me alone already.
Please,
You're so needy.
you bought us a drink.
Isn't
It doesn't
little
mean we're
Steven around here
friends.
somewhere?
Where's Van Sam when you need him?
Did he know you were a Woodfield brother at the time?
He kept asking me about it. I said, "I don't want to talk about this."
Did he ask
right.
for your autograph?
I was in the urinal just like this with him.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Really?
Did you see it?
I didn't,
I think that's like
what
guy
other question
code.
would you
Is
ask?
that
wanna-
guy
Did you
code?
look?
I didn't look.
Oh,
That's guy-
come on.
That's
man.
guy code, right?
Did you shake his
Yeah.
hand after or anything? You know,
Oh, I
there's
thought you're not supposed to do
exactly.
that.
You're not. You're not
Ah.
supposed
And you're
to
not
have
supposed to have
any
eye
talking,
contact, right?
Nothing.
No eye contact?
Men's
straight
room,
ahead, right?
serious business.
How do
yes.
I know this?
Because I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
I hope he's not watching.
No, that would be awesome.
I hope
So-
he is watching.
Bruce,
Yeah.
we
He'll
love
remember.
you and
He will
Merry
remember.
Christmas.
Hey,
You know,
Bruce.
so I'm thinking now, because everyone that goes see this show, on principle, I'm not going because the tickets cost $10,000
Wow.
and he won't
Yeah.
give me free ones.
And we're spending it on the Rolling Stones.
And yes, we just took a mortgage out on the Rolling Stones.
Oh, my God.
So
Yes,
That's right.
we did.
I was thinking of going to see Bruce Springsteen,
we
but
can.
well, we'll see how it works out. And now I hear every band is going to do this now. Every band's going to go on and have their own Broadway show. Wouldn't that be cool?
Well,
And-
depends.
For some,
I don't know
Not
about
I can't wait to see yours. A tragedy in 3 acts.
That
The
would be.
disgruntled De Silva.
That would be.
That's what
Yeah.
Oh,
And our
I
last
sang.
show, it went out with a bang too, because the last
yeah.
show it was a knockdown, drag out fist fight right in front of the stage,
I love
and they were
that.
wrestling
That's
right in front of my
fantastic.
feet. I had to move my
Wow.
guitars out of the way, and
Wow.
it was
Where
awesome.
were you playing?
At the Idle Hour. So
Where's that?
in Point
Wow,
Pleasant,
Point
right down the
Pleasant.
road a piece. yes.
Is that what the turning
have-
point for the band
I think
was?
so.
I was
That
like,
that's
okay.
what that's
That's
when
not
the
like a
singer
biker
knew.
bar?
He said, "We've hit the big time. We're playing the Idle Hour. I want to play the big room at the Idle Hour." So
We need tracks. Therefore, we
Tuba
need
fight.
tracks.
yes,
Oh, my God.
absolutely.
I have another show that I went to.
What's
What'd you
that?
see?
I got to meet Ozzy Osbourne
What
because
do
I
you
got
mean?
Oh, yeah, you
I got
did.
meet and greet tickets.
Hold on a second now. You did not give him the staph infection, did you? Because he almost died from meeting
tried.
fans.
No, it's not me. He smelled really good.
Really?
No, it was not me.
I wouldn't picture
I was
that.
healthy at the time. He smelled like they had just showered him and blow dried his
probably
They
hair.
hosed him down.
Yes, he was very fresh.
All right, so tell us about this. I'm fascinated about this. What did you say to Ozzy when you saw him?
Oh, I said to him, and you could see the look on his face in the picture that I posted of us. I said to him, Ozzy, when I was giving birth to my son, in my boombox I was playing Perry Mason, and he looked at me and he said, "Is that so?" And that was my encounter with the Prince of Darkness, and
that's
that's a true
awesome.
story, by the way.
Yeah,
That's because
absolutely.
she's a bad.
I took
And
my
you
know
boombox
what?
and I played Ozzy Osbourne to give
It
birth.
got you through.
That's
Yeah, hell yeah.
awesome.
So now, how is Ozzy? What's he like? Is he
You know-
short, tall?
I would say he's about
Medium height?
5'8", 5'9", maybe.
That's tall.
That's super tall.
He's not super tall.
For
and
me,
he's
for
thin,
me.
but he's got little love handles because I put my arm around them and they get to
Oh,
squeeze them.
Squeeze them?
Wow.
Yeah.
What was Sharon there?
No.
Yeah, she would have knocked you out.
She would've tried.
Ozzy, yeah. That would have been a great story. You and Sharon having a fist fight.
That would have been
Sharon
awesome.
and Ozzy back together?
I believe. I don't
Yeah,
think they
they're always
really.
Did they ever really split?
Yeah, they just break
They
up
fight.
here and there, and they
Yeah.
come back and forth.
I
so.
thought he left her for the hairdresser, but you know what? I'm behind.
I don't
Yeah.
know
Forget it.
anything.
Nah, it's-
Okay.
Yeah,
How did
I
he
think
ever leave her?
because he relapsed,
That
and then
was
he
the
was
last
with the
show we did
hairdresser.
together.
It was Ozzy. We never did Ozzy.
Yes, we absolutely.
Not
We
with
talked
the-
about.
maybe.
We
Oh, we
did.
talked about it,
That's
Yeah.
possible. All right.
So anyway, that was my other. So.
That's
That's a
awesome.
good one.
Cha-Cha, you have any good concert stories you'd like to talk
I really
about?
don't.
But you're gonna have some in June when we go see the Rolling Stones
Yeah.
5 times.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you that.
5?
I keep buying tickets
I
every
didn't
day.
tell you that. He said-
You know what? He just stops asking me. He's just like,
Yeah.
you know what? Get dressed.
I
We're
tried. I
going.
tried to feel her out because we got
No,
4 tickets for the whole
yeah.
family. Why do you have to interrupt me for every comment that I have to make? So because
I always look
See?
bad.
No, you can interrupt after I say my piece. That I bought 4 tickets. Our whole family's going. The children and everybody. The first time to see the Rolling Stones, and it's gonna be awesome, right? And I got expensive tickets, but not too great tickets, right? So then another show was added for the Rolling Stones in New Jersey. So I looked at the tickets, and right in the pit was tickets. And they were $1,600 each. So I said, that's too expensive to buy 2 of them. So I will buy one for myself and go, and Cha-Cha will be okay with it because Rolling Stones is my favorite
Perfectly
band,
fine with
and
it.
I would love it. And so I texted her to try to feel it out because you know what would happen if I just buy the ticket?
Yeah.
Then
He always
every time the
brings
Rolling
it.
Stones comes on the radio, she'll remember that time you went to the Rolling Stones without me and sat in the pit? So
Totally fine with it.
500 years. We'll be talking about that. So I had to feel her out. I
Knocking
said,
on the coffin.
and I said, and I texted her, and I said, I gave her the information, and she said, "Oh, great, get 2." And I was like, "Oh, I can't get 2."
Why?
So that's exactly how it worked out.
No.
So
It
anyway,
was his own guilt. Because I said, honey, I'm perfectly fine with
That
it.
was after the
I'm
fact.
going to
After
see
the
the Rolling
fact.
Stones as
After
a
the
family.
fact.
Yeah.
Go. It's a
after the
once in a
fact.
lifetime experience. No, I can't do it. he totally
because I had to
went
do
out.
the analysis of the,
The truth
benefit.
is that he doesn't want to be in the pit anymore.
Oh, I want to be in the pit. I live for the pit.
You know, the pit is good in theory.
I spent most of my life in the pit. What are you talking
wanna
about?
We're in the
sit
pit of the
and
nation
watch
right
the
now.
Rolling
Yeah.
Stones.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
Dee?
no, no.
Right.
I like seats.
That's what I'm saying. Just one time, though, that I've seen the Rolling Stones 10 times. First concert I ever went to, 1975, Madison Square Garden. I was 9 years old. I went.
Nosebleed?
No, just regular seats, but
Really?
nothing. I've never had up close seats for the Rolling
Well,
Stones.
I have to say, shame on you.
It would have been nice to do it one time
You-
before I
shame
died.
on you. That's
So-
I gave him the
But
idea.
I
It's
did
all right.
write
They're
a
not.
letter.
They're going to be touring for the next 10
Yeah,
years.
right.
They'll be in
Yeah.
wheelchairs.
So I wrote a
Jagger
letter
will be all-
to make a wish saying that I'm not feeling well. Little Dennis Morgello, age 7.
You always go too far.
You're tall for your
Go
age. You
easy.
can tell them that you have that like premature age disease.
That's so funny. That reminds me of that. That I found online
I
a
should not
picture.
joke. I'm going to hell.
I found
Jesus.
this picture of Jimi Hendrix, right?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
he
this is
stopped. I don't know where he was, but it was a picture from 1968. He was with this white family, these 3 kids hanging out like in their living room.
In a paneled room.
Right, in a
Okay.
paneled room. It
Remember
looked
the
just
old
like
70s?
Yeah. So I took the picture and I posted it as a joke, and I said, "Oh, I'll never forget the time Jimi Hendrix
Yeah,
stopped
I saw
over."
that.
And I said, "This is me, my brother, and sister." Right?
Right.
And everyone is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that's so awesome." See, now people who just mildly know me, I can understand. But kids that I went to elementary school with, who were in the same grade as me, know I was 3 years old in 1968, and the kid who I said was me looked about 15, and he was 6'2".
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, people.
It's so
It's just like today when I posted about the Rolling. I posted about I'm no longer with the Silvers, and I posted a picture of me playing with the Rolling Stones.
Right.
And some people actually thought I'm going on tour with the Rolling Stones.
That's amazing.
Or they thought that I was joking about everything, and
Yeah.
so people will believe anything. So there you go.
If it's on Facebook, it has to be true.
Absolutely true.
Yeah. So all right. So we're behind schedule here. We got to play some more songs. We're gonna play some cool Irish Christmas songs in honor of nobody, because none of us are
I'm Irish.
Irish.
Stop it. I'm Irish. I'm
Oh.
almost entirely
Laura
Irish.
Catalina.
My dad has a little Italian in him. It's his,
Yeah, that's what
we
your mom
forgive
said.
him that. Yeah. No, my mom has a little Italian.
Cut
in
that
her.
out.
But I'm bump.
Wow.
No, my mom's all Irish. I come from
really?
Donahue's, McLaughlin's,
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
So in honor of Laura
Thank
O'Flanagan,
Absolutely.
Laura O'Flanagan McQuiggins, we're gonna play.
I like that.
We're gonna play some Irish Christmas songs. How about this one? "Fairy Tale of New York" by the Pogues, and we're gonna play "Christmas in Prison" by John Prine in honor of Andy, who last year had an incident and spent Christmas in prison. Actually, you know why I played that song? I'm playing "Christmas in Prison" because when the nominations for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame came out this year, one of the guys was John Prine. And I'm like, who the hell is John Prine? I never heard of him. And then my friend Macchioli said, "Oh, I love that guy. Christmas in Prison, great song." So I checked that out, and it's a cool song. So perfect for today, Chacha. Doesn't that
Montgomery
work out
from
good?
Angel, he wrote.
Perfect.
Yes. So
You're
there you
Angel
go.
from Montgomery.
Oh, he
Like
wrote
that,
that
like
song?
had a moment of
Yes.
dyslexia.
That was the guy? Ah, awesome. I love that song.
Angel
Remember when
from
you guys
Montgomery.
did that
Bonnie,
song?
Yeah.
but,
Fine John.
right.
That was
It's
good
a-
time.
For the Bonnie
Yeah.
Raitt show, even though she didn't write that, it's a
Right.
John Prine
Yeah,
song,
yeah,
but
yeah.
she made it famous.
Ah.
There you
I
go.
thought it was
See?
John Hyatt. I
Everything
didn't know
comes
that was
around.
John
No,
Prine.
not John Hyatt.
Ah,
No
we're
way,
gonna have to
Jose.
check that. See, look how good Laura's getting. She's not moving our head
I can do
away
this.
from the
I can swivel.
microphone. We're trained now. All right, so Fairy Tale of New York and Christmas in Prison. We'll be right back. Madhouse Magazine Radio Hour 474 The Mix. Hey, welcome back to Madhouse
have a dealer?
Magazine Radio Hour. You just heard Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues and Christmas in Prison by John Prine. I remember some of my best Christmases were spent in prison. I think it was a nice dinner.
If you're talking about marriage, I'm coming.
No, you crazy?
There we go.
But he said you make nice
You were
Christmases,
looking at
Chacha.
me when you said that.
So, anyway, so let's talk about our album and our guest of honor, the Carpenters. And this album came out October 13th, 1978. And of course, it was at the end of their career. They were huge during the 70s. And let me tell you a bit about them. You ready?
Yeah.
Carpenters. Richard Lynn, born 1956, and his sister Karen Ann, born in 1950. Now, Richard was a quiet child who spent most of his time at home listening to classical music, playing the piano, and touching himself inappropriately. And Karen, on the other hand, enjoyed
sued.
sports, ballet, and often fantasized about murdering her parents. The siblings were very close, some say too close, and they shared a love for music.
Wait, did you make that up?
Some of that I made up. It was just like my social media posts. Some I make up, some are real.
I really hope
You have
you
to
put
read
a
between the
disclaimer
lines.
at the bottom.
Of course, everything I say is
yeah.
satire. Every word comes out of my mouth is protected by one of the amendments.
I don't know. You better put Laura on retainer.
What do
Satire
you
is
mean?
protected.
Of course it is. That's how I
protected, yeah.
thrive.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'd have been in jail a long time ago.
That's right.
So, in 1963, the family moved to L.A., and it was funny how they said it because Richard was a good pianist. Ooh, what'd you call him?
Pianist.
He was a prodigy, and the parents were so cool, and they said, "All right, I think you have talent. We're going to move to L.A." But Richard said that's not the case. That the father really wanted to go to the warm weather, but it worked out good that he was, a pianist as well. And Karen at this point didn't do anything. And they like, you're a loser, Karen. Just leave us alone with our favorite Richard here.
And she said, at least I'm not a pianist.
Yeah, exactly. So when they moved to L.A., Richard got involved with schools and the church, and he became a church organist. But he got into big trouble, though, because he wrote a song and played it during the congregation one time. It was called Tulips on My Organ.
Now that you
Disclaimer,
made
I made that up.
Some facts may not be true.
And at the same time, Karen began playing the glockenspiel. But after a horrific glockenspiel incident, she switched to the drums. So fast forward to 1968. Richard and Karen form a duo, and they call themselves the Carpenters, right?
It's very inventive.
Exactly. So
imaginative.
And very quickly they moved up the ladder, and in 1969 they were signed by A&M Records, the label owner Herb Albert. You know Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. What is that song? The Little Spanish Flea or whatever it is. He has a million hits. And that was one of them.
Girl from Ipanema.
Yeah, a million hits. So anyway, he owned the record company. He said Karen's voice moved him first time he heard it, and the rest was history. But they had a problem because 1968, 1969, what was going on in the world? It was a revolution taking place. The bands were Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, and then they're pushing these two sappy, clean cut boy and girl next door, and people were like, "Oh, this will never work." And I have to say that I must agree because I was way too cool to like the Carpenters.
Yeah.
Now, Cha-Cha takes credit for everything that I like. Yeah. But I'm actually going to give her credit for this because
what's happening?
Because that I never listened to the Carpenters growing up. I said, I'm way too cool to listen to Carpenters. But then after we got married, you said, listen to the Carpenters, and I did, and her voice was so smooth. It was amazingly beautiful, and I slowly started to admit to people that I like the Carpenters.
But I cannot convert your sister.
Another hang up gone, Dee Dee.
Right, your sister.
I'm so proud of you. Your personal growth since I first was on the show is really inspiring to me.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If you are of a certain age in the 60s or 70s, you can never like the Carpenters.
Right, your sister cannot.
My sister's much older than me. She's 10 years older, so she was of age at this time, and she's like, oh my God, Carpenters are horrible. Because your parents like the Carpenters. They're like, I remember my mom's whistling to We've Only Just Begun, and they're like, oh my God, what is this?
That right now.
Dennis, why can't you like any nice music? What is this? Who is this? Mick Jagger and Alice Cooper. They're like crazy people. These boys and girls are so nice. Why don't you listen to the Carpenters?
Devil music.
Exactly. Yeah, and she would
love
spill the holy water.
Yeah.
Right. So a whole generation could not like the Carpenters, but now we can.
Now we can. That's right.
Yeah. So let's talk about their songs. The first song on the first album, they had a minor hit with the Beatles cover, Ticket to Ride, right? And it brought A&M Records up because they were having a rough time. So the sales of this gave them enough money. They said, all right, let's give them another chance, right? So the next song, you know what it was? Close to You, written by Burt Bacharach.
That's my favorite.
Yes, and it went to number 1.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. I love that little part in the middle. Can you do it? No, that little piano part.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not a pianist.
Yeah. Thank goodness.
So now the next song that they had that We've Only Just Begun. It was written by Paul Williams. Remember that little weird guy who was around everywhere?
He's very cute.
Yeah. But it was actually a bank commercial that Richard was watching TV, and he saw this bank commercial, and it was that song, Paul Williams singing it, and he called up Paul Williams and he said, is that a real song? Can I have it? And he gave it to him and went to number 2.
Yeah.
What song?
We've Only Just Begun.
Oh, that.
We've only just begun.
That's my
That's a bank
favorite,
commercial?
actually.
Yes, in 1969. See?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
We're being schooled here.
Yes. And then, did you know that his main influence, Richard he was never given the credit that he deserved because he was kind of a musical
In the
genius behind the
shadow.
scenes,
Yeah.
and Karen never sang growing up, and they kind of like forced her to sing. And then
She played the
drums,
drums, right?
and I
Yeah.
heard it, and she's actually a really good drummer.
Yeah.
She has
She
like
is.
this jazz, she was learned
Yeah.
from Gene Krupa and Buddy Rich and that kind of stuff. But as the band progressed, they tried to get her away from the drums. They said, you need to be the front person. Nobody
Right.
wants to look at you back there, so come on out. And she was reluctantly did.
She did.
But then it was string of hits. You want to hear all these hits?
I do.
For all we know, number 3.
Oh.
You hold up the fingers when I say what number it went to. Rainy Days and Mondays, number 2.
Oh, yes.
Superstar, number 2. That was my favorite song.
favorite
I think.
too. I just said
yes.
that
That did you ever see that scene from that movie? It's a Tommy Boy
Tommy
movie.
Boy.
The
Yeah.
Tommy Boy
yeah.
with Chris
Tommy Boy,
Farley.
oh my God.
And him and
Great.
David Spade are driving in the car, right? And the song comes on the radio, and it's like,
Yes.
you want to hear that? I don't care. You could leave it on, I guess. All right, let's hear it. And then they flash to the next scene. They're both singing as loud as they can. Tears streaming down
Should
their
we
face.
sing? Should we sing?
Not yet. We'll go.
Okay.
When we close out, we'll do that.
That's my
So,
new thing now.
Hurting Each Other, number 2. Goodbye to Love, number 7. Sing, number 3. Yesterday Once More, number 2. Top of the World, number 1. Please, Mr. Postman, number 1. Only Yesterday,
Please, Mr.
number 4.
Postman.
You hear this? They had 12 studio albums, 2 Christmas albums, 2 live albums, 46 singles, numerous compilation albums. You know how many records they sold total?
How many?
100 million.
Wow.
Jeez Louise.
That's impressive.
Yes, very
Yeah.
good. But all during this time, though, they forgot their personal lives. That all they did was tour,
Right.
and they ended up still living with their parents through 1974. That's kind of
Wow.
odd, isn't it?
too
And then,
bad.
and then after
What
that,
were
they
they
moved
gonna
in
do?
together. What do you mean?
Okay, that's
Oh,
weird.
that's weird.
Creepy.
didn't-
That's
Yeah.
weird.
That's creepy.
Well, still living with your parents as you sold 100 million albums.
I guess
is
when you're
kind of weird.
touring, it's like you don't need a home.
Exactly.
So,
They
like,
go
what are you gonna
home,
own a
but-
home
I
to
guess
never
so.
be
But
in
to
it?
move out, to
Sure.
move in together. That's
But yeah, if
way
you have
to
that
move
amount
it.
of money, I would definitely buy a home that was
I
empty.
wouldn't move in with those.
You
Just
know,
have a storage
Yeah.
buy my
space or
empty
something.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, to put my Ferrari in.
There was when I was growing up. There was on the corner. There was this weird couple. And I always thought they were married, and it turns out they were They were brother and sister. They were like really old, and they
Yeah.
were always going everywhere with each other. And I just assumed they were.
That can
There's
happen.
A lot
It's
of
very
people,
odd. Yeah,
well,
That
I would
can
never
happen.
do that.
People don't get married.
people that right.
That happens, you know, and then that's what you got. You got your siblings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Where did you grow up?
Queens, New York City.
That's big.
Did you know these people? I forget their names. Oh, and I
Maybe
actually
I
remember
love
their
that.
name. Their name was Louie and Millie.
Oh my
Oh my
God,
God!
don't call
It
them
just
out.
popped up. Oh, come on! They were
kind of
95,
adorable.
40 years ago. If they're still alive, I'm
Louie
getting
and
them on the
Millie.
show.
You never know.
We're gonna
They
give 'em
might
some
be
weed.
smoking weed
Yeah.
right now. You stole mine.
They say it works.
That's right.
All right, so now here's some trivia that I'm going to give to
I don't know.
I don't want
Andy.
it.
Nobody knows this. I didn't
Oh,
even know
thank
this till
God you
today.
said Andy.
That she dated a lot of guys, a lot of celebrities, Karen. And can you name one of the celebrities that she? I'll give you a hint. Who's the boss?
Tony Danza.
Tony Danza. Yes, she did.
Wow,
Isn't that
really?
amazing?
I did not know that.
Closer, Tony Dan.
Yes.
Yes. And then she dated Mark Harmon. He's a famous actor.
Wow.
Steve Martin, the Steve Martin.
Wow.
And last but not least, Alan Osmond, one of the Osmond brothers.
Wow.
Oh, that makes sense.
He's
Yeah.
actually Dee Dee's favorite Osmond.
They could relate. I'm sure they related.
Alan.
My favorite was
Who
Merrill,
even knew
of
there was
course.
an Alan Osmond?
Anyone
I
anyone
think
who can
it's Donnie
name
and Marie.
anyone who can
Right?
name all the Osmond brothers gets $100 right now.
Not happening.
Donnie and Marie. That's it.
Wait, let me just look at my phone.
There you go.
My kid might
no,
be calling.
no way. All right, so here's another fact
$100.
too. Karen auditioned for Kenny Rogers' first edition band, and she didn't make it. Before
Oh, wow.
that was like before they became famous. Isn't that something?
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
So anyway, you know what happened to them at the end of the 70s? They had all those hits, right? And then by 1978, when this album came out, this was a huge Christmas album, by the way. It went
Right.
platinum. It was the best-selling Christmas album of 1978. It was the 23rd best-selling Christmas album of all time.
Wow.
You know what came right in front of this?
No.
Anthony Weiner's Christmas album and the Barking Dogs singing Jingle Bells. So it was 23 and 22. So anyway, but by 78, they were collapsing. That Richard was addicted to Quaaludes. Who knew that?
That was like
I
back when
didn't know
people
that.
did
did
lewds.
not
That
know
was
they,
a thing,
but
right?
he got prescriptions for Quaaludes.
Yeah.
Wow, that was
Does
something.
Quaaludes pick you up? Or
Down,
Oh,
down.
downers,
Knock you
man.
off
It's
your
like,
feet.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
I just saw it happen.
Valium or
One time, I was
Yeah.
hanging out with Bruce Springsteen, and he slipped a Quaalude in my drink.
That's right.
And I woke up
You've
3
never
days
been the
later.
same.
I woke up 3
I
days
woke
later
up
in
in a
Colts Neck.
trunk of a car in Bangkok.
with a limp.
Oh,
I love saying Bangkok.
I know you can.
Who doesn't?
All right, I lost my place. Where was I? Oh, so right.
Ludes.
He was on Ludes, and she started
Anorexia.
with anorexia at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And that was it. They didn't really have many hits after that. It was a lot of trouble and problems, and that was it.
So that's why we're not famous, right? Because like we don't want to be, because then we'd be like anorexic and on lewds and stuff.
Well, I think that's
It's a choice.
I think it's all because she became famous because she was in such turmoil and pain inside, and
Well,
you could feel it when she sings. You
that's
could see
like-
it in her eyes.
yeah, that's Kurt Cobain syndrome.
Exactly,
Even though he's
every
like
one of them.
much later than so many of them that are like, it's Jim Morrison. It's like
Exactly.
that tortured artist. It's
Yes, that's the
so
that's the
appealing to
thing.
the masses, but so
Bad for them.
Yeah.
destructive
Yeah.
to your soul and your
She
being.
definitely wasn't ready to be the lead of that band, and I think she was heavier when she started, and I think she just couldn't handle the criticism.
Yeah.
Like when you're not prepared for that, forget it.
prepared?
It'll ruin you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she passed away at age 32, February 4th,
So
1983.
sad.
Very sad, yes.
Yeah, because
So-
she was really something.
I'm only 32.
I know. Can you? Oh, it's really bringing it
I
home
have so
for me,
much to
Dee Dee.
live for.
Exactly. So that's it. That's all I have about the Carpenters. If you would like to share any personal anecdotes with the Carpenters, did you ever meet Karen or Richard? Richard is still alive, I'm sure.
What's he up to?
I don't know. He's selling Quaaludes in Colorado. Did you know they
Tough
stopped
market
making them?
in Colorado.
They stopped making them.
They stopped
That,
making
as
them.
Andy
Yeah.
would say, the original manufacturer was Rora, and then they were purchased by Lemon, and then
What?
None of this is making any sense to me at all.
what do you mean? It's actual fact.
what are you
Andy knows
talking
all
about?
about this.
How
he
do
was
you
telling
know
me about
these-
it prior to the show. Andy was
Yeah,
all about.
I still have some of the
That's
Jack
100% true.
Andy.
It was for his grandfather. Yeah, he was very ill. We are running out of time. We got to play some more songs. Oh, I got to do a Madhouse. They just told me I got to do a Madhouse Christmas story now. So this guy is in the news again. He just released a Christmas song. So I'm going to read a story about him. You ready? You guys know who Josh Homme is?
Yeah.
Josh Homme
Yes,
from the Queens of the
I know
Stone
who you're
Age.
trying to say. Yes.
It's Homme, not Home.
I was like like
Homie?
Sherlock Holmes. Like
Josh Homey, we'll call him. Josh Homme.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he's in the Queens of the Stone Age, blah, blah, blah. Yes, last year he was in some hot water because he kicked a photographer in the face who
Oh,
was
I remember
shooting
that.
him
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
pit.
yeah. Uh-huh.
He's lucky it wasn't
my.
me.
I
I
That'd
saw
have been
the
trouble.
video.
So anyway, in a scene right out of A Christmas Story, Josh Homme had to be rescued by the fire department after a crazy dare by friends. After a long night of drinking, Homme was double and triple dog dared to put his penis against a metal pole in Vancouver, British Columbia. Homme insisted to friends that it was just an old wives' tale and neither a tongue or any other body part will stick to a metal pole in the cold. So Homme accepted the dare and attached his penis to the metal pole and laughed in his friend's face. After 30 seconds, he stopped laughing and realized he was, in fact, stuck to the pole. Homme was in excruciating pain and freezing. His friends could not help him as they were laughing hysterically at the big goon. Eventually, a neighbor stopped laughing long enough to call the fire department. It was quite the sight, said firefighter John Garcia. He was standing there bare-assed with his member stuck to the pole. We tried pulling, but we finally got him loose after pouring warm urine on the pole. Homme was recently in the news for kicking a female photographer, Chelsea Lauren, in the face during a concert. Chelsea laughed when she heard the news. I would call that instant karma, said Miss Lauren. He's such a douche. Homme is founder of many very mediocre rock bands, including Queens of the Stone Age and Eagles of Death Metal. No one is quite sure of any songs these bands created and cannot figure out why they are remotely famous or popular. Many critics say that Homme is proof that rich kids cannot create good music, as Homme is from a wealthy family in Palm Desert, Desert, California. There you have it. Whoever wrote that must
I
not like
I
Jock
actually
Homme.
love
Say,
Queens of the
wow.
Stone Age music.
What
So
would you ever do to them?
I know. I love Queens of the Stone Age.
There you have it. All right. All the
must have
news
been
not
double
fit
dog
for
dared.
print.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap this show up, and we're going to play some more songs, Christmas songs for our Christmas show. This is a very lovely song that none of you know. It's called First Snow on Brooklyn by Ian Anderson, a.k.a. Jethro Tull.
way.
Check out this song. You'll all love it. And, of course, we're going to go out with some Carpenters. Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Aw,
and then we're going to
perfect.
play the Artist of the Month. So that's it. Check out madhousemagazine.com. 474 The Mix, Strawberry Pie, Woodfield Brothers. Check them all out. And that's it. Let's hear it for us.
Yay!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
You know how to say Christmas in Spanish?
We love you, Santa.
Feliz Navidad.
There we go.
Sábado Gigante.
Sábado Gigante.